Hello students, welcome to BioSmart Academy. In today's lecture, we will going to start a very important topic from biochemistry module, which is very important for CSI NET June 2021 also. Okay, so we will going to start structure of proteins. Okay, and remember this is a part 1 of the lecture, and here we mainly discuss about the introductory part of the structure of proteins. Okay, and I just recommend you that please go through the playlist of biochemistry that is available on our YouTube channel, that is BioSmart Academy, and on that playlist you will find 18 lectures above this, because this is a lecture number 19, and all that lectures are very important from examination point of view, because we design all this lecture in such a way that it helps you in cracking CSI NET GATE all this examination. Okay, so please go and watch these lectures. Okay, so let's start today's lecture. So here we discuss about the basic introduction about the structure of proteins. Okay, I already told you. So here we discuss about the primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, and quaternary structure. Okay, we will discuss all the structure of protein in details one by one in our upcoming videos. Okay, and in today's lecture we will just give you a brief introduction, about little introduction about all this. Okay, so first discuss about the primary structure. If you see the primary structure, here you see that in primary structure this is a sequence of amino acid. Here you can see that is proline, alanine, aspartic acid, lysine, threonine. So a sequence of amino acid is present. Okay, so like this is one amino acid, this is one amino acid. A sequence of amino acid is present. If you see this primary structure, a sequence of amino acid is present. Okay, and this sequence of amino acid are linked together by this peptide bond. Okay, linked together by this peptide bond. So by linking this amino acid together through a peptide bond, it can form a polypeptide in this manner. Okay, so basically from here we can conclude that the primary structure of protein basically consists of covalent bond, and mainly the covalent bond is basically the peptide bond, CONH bond. Okay, so basically a description of all covalent bonds, mainly the peptide and disulfide bonds, linking amino acid residue in the polypeptide structure in its primary structure. Okay, clear? So this is all the primary structure. Okay, now what is the most important element of a primary structure? Okay, so if you get a question, so the most important element of a primary structure, the most important element of a primary structure, please note it down. Okay, it is the sequence of amino acid residue. Sequence of amino acid residues. Clear? So, sequence of amino acid residues is the most important element of a primary structure. Clear? So, this is the primary structure of protein. Okay. So, from here we can conclude that the primary structure of a protein, determine how it folds up into its unique 3D structure. Okay, into its unique 3D structure. Clear? And this in turn also determine the function of protein. Okay, function of protein. So I repeat this line again, please note it down. So basically this primary structure of protein determine how it folds up into its unique 3D structure. And when it folds into its unique 3D structure, then this unique 3D structure basically determine the function of a protein. Clear? So students, this is all about the primary structure of protein. Okay, now let's move into the secondary structure of a protein. Okay, So if you look at the secondary structure of protein, when this primary structure fold, okay, primary structure is basically a extended polypeptide chain. Now when this primary structure basically going to fold, okay, then it basically forms a secondary structure of protein. And the secondary structure of protein basically form, you can say, two types. One is a helical structure. Secondary structure may be from a helical type, okay, and we call it as alpha helix, and one may be formed like a zigzag pattern, okay, and one type of structure that is in secondary structure form is maybe the zigzag pattern, and we call that beta conformations. Okay, so basically the secondary structure got two types of structure. The one structure which is basically fold more compact, that is the primary structure of protein, that is basically the alpha helix, and one is little bit compact, fold into little bit compact, not as comparable to alpha helix, but it takes the shape of zigzag pattern, so we can call this as beta conformation. So this is about the secondary structure of protein. Remember student, okay, in our upcoming lectures we will briefly discuss the secondary structure of protein, because secondary structure of protein is very important from examination point of view and also from your interview purpose. Okay, so we will going to discuss in brief about the secondary structure of protein. Okay, and remember one concept, that in secondary structure we not only call alpha helix and beta conformations are the secondary structure. In secondary structure there may be beta turns also, okay, and there may be random coils also, okay. So you all basically we discuss all these things in details in our upcoming lectures. Okay, so that is about the secondary structure of protein. Now look at the tertiary structure. Okay, if we look at the tertiary structure of protein, basically tertiary structure is nothing but it describes the 3D folding of a polypeptide. When this primary structure is fold into its 3D conformation, then it gives rise to tertiary structure. And every protein, when it fold into its 3D conformation, it has unique 3D conformation, and each and every unique 3D conformation has its own unique function. Clear? Okay, and all these basically depend upon the sequence of the primary structure of protein. Clear? So this is how the tertiary structure of protein. In our upcoming lectures, we will also discuss in details about the tertiary structure of protein, about the globular protein, about the fibrous protein. Okay, and in details in fibrous protein we'll discuss keratin. Okay, we discuss collagen, all these things. Okay, we discuss myoglobin, we discuss hemoglobin. So please follow our lectures, because all this will going to very important from your examination point of view. And finally after all this, lastly we want to introduce the quaternary structure of protein. Okay, so what is this quaternary structure of protein? So when a protein, so here in tertiary structure of protein we discuss what? In tertiary structure of protein we discuss 3D folding of a polypeptide. Okay, of a polypeptide. Clear? 3D folding of a polypeptide in tertiary structure of protein we discuss. Okay, now when a protein, note it down, when a protein has two or more polypeptide, okay, has two or more polypeptide, when a protein has two or more polypeptide, okay, polypeptide subunits, so their arrangement in space, okay, so when a protein has two or more polypeptide subunits, remember this is the assembled subunits, okay, and this is the polypeptide chain of the tertiary structure of protein. Okay, and when a protein consists of two or more polypeptide chain in a subunits, okay, then the arrangement in space is referred to as quaternary structure of protein, and it is also determined, this is the final structure of protein. Okay, for example, hemoglobin, it has 4 subunits. Okay, like that. For example, hemoglobin. Okay, and one example of tertiary structure protein is myoglobin. Okay, so students, this is a basic introduction about the primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, and quaternary structure of protein. Okay, and in our upcoming lectures we will discuss in details one by one. Okay, so in our upcoming lecture, first we will deal with secondary structure of protein, especially alpha helix, beta sheets, beta turns, all this. Then we discuss in details about tertiary and quaternary. Clear? Now, next. See, so there is a question that the function of protein depend on its amino acid sequence. The function of protein depends on its amino acid sequence. Yes, we can say that the function of protein depend on its amino acid sequence. For example, see, if we consider a bacteria, okay, if we consider a bacteria and if we consider a human, okay, so basically if we see a bacteria, bacteria contain about 3000 different proteins, about 3000 different proteins. Clear? While human, if we consider human, it also approx contain 20,000 genes, 20,000 genes, which encode large number of protein. Okay, which encode large number of protein. So we can see that in both these cases, if we mark in both these cases, each type of protein, each protein has a unique amino acid sequence, and each unique amino acid sequence confer a particular 3D structure, confer a particular 3D structure. Clear? And each 3D structure basically gives a different function or confers a unique function. Each 3D structure confers a unique function. Clear? Confers a unique function. So basically, if we see bacteria and human, they contain different types of gene, and each protein has a unique amino acid sequence, and each amino acid sequence have a unique 3D structure, and each 3D structure perform or have a unique function. So from this we can say that the function of a protein depend on its amino acid sequence, because a particular amino acid sequence basically going to confer a particular 3D structure, and each particular 3D structure basically gives you a unique function. So from this we can conclude that the function of a protein depend on its amino acid sequence. Okay, now if we now I just want to give you example. If you see the example of sickle cell anemia. Okay, if you see the example of sickle cell anemia, what happens in sickle cell anemia? In sickle cell anemia, there is a genetic defect. Okay, in sickle cell anemia, there is a genetic defect. Basically, there is a change in the single amino acid sequence. Okay, there is a change in single amino acid sequence. That is, in sickle cell anemia, there is a glutamic acid is present in sixth position of the beta globin chain. We all know that. Okay, and instead of glutamic acid, it basically forms what? Valine in that sixth position. Okay, and if we look at the genetic code, if we see the code for glutamic acid and valine, so we can find out that there is a basically change in the single amino acid, and on that change in the single amino acid, it basically going to change the whole function of the protein. whole function of the protein. The cell becomes sickle shaped from round shaped. Okay, so this is a clear cut example where we can explain that the function of the protein depend on its amino acid sequence. Okay, so now I hope that you get the clear idea that how the function of protein depend on its amino acid sequence. Okay, I hope that you note it down. Next, another question is that is the amino acid sequence is fixed, or you can say it's static, or it will not going to change, or you can say invariant for a particular protein. Is the amino acid sequence is fixed for a particular protein? So the answer of this question will be no. Okay, and this question is very important for your interview purpose in IITs. Okay, so when you basically appear in the interview for your PhD in IITs, then you may get this question from interview board that is the amino acid sequence is fixed for a particular protein. So your answer should be no. Why? Because if we see, then 20 to 30% of protein in human, 20 to 30% protein in human are polymorphic. Clear? Are polymorphic. Okay, so what do you mean by polymorphic? Polymorphic means basically it describes a protein. Polymorphic means it describes a protein for which amino acid sequence variant are present. For which amino acid sequence variant are present. Amino acid sequence variant are present. Variant are present. Okay. So what do you mean by this amino acid sequence variant? This amino acid sequence variant means if the variant is basically there in the population, so there should be no problem in that the inductive function of that protein. Okay, so basically the answer will be no, because 20 to 30% of proteins in human are polymorphic. That is, it describes a protein for which amino acid sequence variants are present in a population of organism, but the variant do not destroy the protein function. Okay, it does not destroy the protein function. Okay, it does not destroy the protein function. So we can say that the amino acid sequence is not fixed for a particular protein. Okay, so students, I hope that you understand today's lecture very well. If you have any doubt regarding today's lecture, then you may comment on the comment box. And if you liked our lecture, then please hit the like button. Okay, and please share, because we will going to provide free lectures for CSR NET June 2021. Okay, and we already upload many lectures as well. Okay, so students, this is the part 1 of the lecture for structure of protein. Okay, in our part 2, that in our next lecture, we will start the secondary structure of protein. Okay, we will start the secondary structure of proteins in our part 2 lecture of the structure of protein. Okay, so, and remember, the secondary structure of protein is very, very important from examination point of view. So please subscribe our channel and please follow us. Okay, so we'll meet on our next lecture. Till then, thank you.